Hello friends, today I wanted to record this video for you. I'm doing the TikTok thing that everybody does. I hope this is really soothing because what I've decided to do is not only talk about my favorite ways of relaxing and reducing anxiety for highly sensitive people, for empaths, or for anybody who just struggles with anxiety once in a while or chronically. I also wanted this video, in essence, in its entirety, to be a calming modality. And so I want you to be able to put this on and listen to me talk about ways that you can take care of yourself and be better to yourself. And just by listening to my words, you'll be able to calm down and feel better. I don't know where this idea came from. It was not my original plan. But we just go with the flow of life, my loves. We just do whatever feels right, wherever we're taken. We just go there and we let life unfold. We let the great mystery unfold. Daniel, my darling editor, please put some calming piano music, maybe some nature sounds, whatever works for you, whatever sounds nice. And let's start to groove with the eternal now. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the B community. Today's video is going to be all about reducing an anxiety for anybody who experiences anxiety once in a while or chronically. Anybody who is an empath or highly sensitive, this will be very good for you. There are ways that we can relax and feel better. Now I'm going to be talking in this specific way, kind of like how I speak in my meditations, because I want this video in essence to be a healing modality for you to come back to whenever you're feeling a little bit anxious. I am a relaxation specialist. I have a certificate for it, okay? So you're in good hands with me. I also used to deal with chronic anxiety, panic attacks, and I've healed through it holistically, naturally, and through spirituality. I used to be medicated for it. I no longer am. And I use these life-changing, little subtle changes in my life in order to live a happier existence I experience a lot less anxiety these days. And I know what to do when anxiety does arise. And you can do everything, all of these things too. It doesn't cost anything. It doesn't take that much effort. It's just all about planning, and it's all about knowledge and information to understand what you need to do in order to calm your nervous system, the autonomic nervous system, to slip out of that fight, flight, and freeze response and into the parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response. Our society tends to be a little bit jarring, so even if you're not an empath or a highly sensitive person, anxiety is very common these days. And these tips for self-care really are a sort of survival guide. So let's begin. The first thing I want to talk about is to practice deep breathing. Now I know that this might seem like a no-brainer, but when's the last time you took a really deep breath? We don't have to think about breathing, it's automatic, but we tend to hold our breath so much of the day. And when we hold our breath, that activates the nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. That puts us into that fight, flight, freeze response, right? So we're constantly on edge. When we begin to breathe deeply, this sends a signal to our brain that we are safe. Because when we breathe deeply, we're not running away from something. We're not, hiding our breath because we're scared, holding our breath because we're scared. We're breathing deeply and normally. This tells the body and the subconscious mind, I am safe, I can relax. So take a deep breath with me right now, always through the nose. The nose is for breathing. Fill the stomach up, fill the chest up, hold, and then slowly breathe out through the nose. Another tip is to always make the exhale longer than the inhale. This really signals to the body, you are safe, you can relax. When I'm feeling anxiety creep in, it takes me about 10 minutes of intentionally sitting down and doing the deep breathing, maybe having my hands in some sort of mudra. I like to put my hands like this, and just really breathing in and out until my parasympathetic nervous system can kick in. Some people will take a few breaths and they'll be fine, but some people will only do a few breaths and be like, this isn't working, and they'll move on to something else, which is okay also, but give it time. Give it at least 10 minutes to really see the full effects of your body calming down. When the body calms down, the mind calms down as well. The second tip that I have is also going to seem like a no-brainer, but I think that there are some people out there who maybe haven't made that connection yet. If you experience anxiety or if you're a highly sensitive person, I highly recommend limiting your caffeine intake. And if you can't limit it, at least drink caffeine before noon, because you don't want to disrupt your sleep at night. Drinking caffeine also activates that nervous system, and it could, for some people, cutting out coffee or cutting out whatever caffeine they have could completely eradicate anxiety from their lives. That's how much caffeine can affect people who are sensitive to it. Some of us are literally allergic to it, and that creates full-blown anxiety and sometimes even depression. I have found a lot of benefit in switching to matcha. It does take longer for it to leave our body, but when I have it in the early morning, I find that it doesn't activate that nervous system. I think that all the beneficial things that it has, it's a superfood, antioxidant. I think the benefits outweigh the costs in this sense. I drink a high quality, organic, ceremonial grade matcha, and I found that it doesn't give me the jitters and it doesn't activate that anxiety. Now, once in a while, I will go back to coffee, and after a few days, I notice that it accumulates in my system. It disrupts our sleep, and after a few days, anxiety comes back, and this is from coffee, from caffeine. So play around with that, see if that's something that you're willing to do for your overall well-being and happiness. My next tip is to, first thing in the morning, brush your teeth, or don't, just walk outside and get some sunlight on your face. Even just 10 minutes of sunlight on your face is going to change the way that you feel. There are several links between light and mood. Think about how you feel when you do go outside and it's a beautiful sunny day. The lighting of the outer world and the inner world, which we'll talk about, or our home environment, is so important. And just getting out and getting a little bit of sunlight is also going to positively affect your circadian rhythm, telling your body it's time to wake up now, and making you produce those sleep chemicals later at night a lot more efficiently. So getting that sunshine first thing in the morning is going to really uplift your mood, and it's just going to remind you that everything is okay. In this line of reasoning, I also recommend not going on your phone first thing in the morning. I find that when I'm highly anxious, the first thing I want to do is grab my phone to make sure that everything is okay. What I recommend doing is setting a do not disturb on your phone for while you sleep, and then putting your phone on loud, because if somebody needs you, they're going to call you several times to reach you. But you don't want your every text to get you started to think about the things that you need to be doing and get into a responsive mode first thing in the morning. So if you can, just be off your phone, at least before you get your sunlight in, right? So there's this whole thing about blue light. Blue light does disrupt the circadian rhythm, which is our body's natural sleep and wakefulness cycle. And blue light disrupts a lot of feel-good chemicals that we have in our body, such as expression of serotonin, dopamine, and other mood chemicals. That can lead to, when we don't have these, when we're not expressing them, to have anxiety and depression. So it is really a matter of mental health to get off of our devices a lot more, to not have our face in the screen. We also know that there are several links between depression, anxiety, and social media. So really putting the phone away as often as you can and making that a habit is going to benefit your mood, the anxiety that you might experience, and just your overall well-being. Speaking of circadian rhythm and sleep, it is so critical to get enough sleep. When we don't get enough sleep, the body feels like it hasn't rested well, it can't rest well. There must be a reason why it can't rest well. And so it's on high alert. And again, you enter that fight, flight, freeze mentality. The body is on edge and it feels like it can't relax. We'd be a lot more prone to anxiety in that sense as well. It is so crucial and critical for you to get enough sleep. And the amount of sleep that you need might be different from another person. But I know that if I don't get my 8 hours of sleep, I could tend to be a nervous wreck. When you then overcompensate for that lack of sleep with caffeine, you've entered your autonomic nervous system, you've activated it, and it is very difficult to turn it off and to really relax. And we accumulate these anxious feelings day in and day out. So the next thing that's really important is to make intentional time for relaxation and for decompressing. Especially if you're a highly sensitive person, you got to schedule these times for you. You might need it once a day, you might need it once a week, once every 2 weeks, but you have to be very intentional about relaxation, about maybe going on quiet walks, time for silence, and time where you're not actively, constantly being stimulated by other people, by social media, by the things that you need to be doing. Your mental health matters, it's important, and if you plan and schedule time for you to decompress, and decompressing is not scrolling through Twitter, that's activating your mind, that's activating the body. Decompressing is doing something that's with low stimulation, maybe reading a book or listening to music and laying down, or doing some yin yoga, some yoga nidras, hypnotherapy, meditation, a spa day, getting a massage, going on a long quiet walk. These are things that are going to it's active relaxation. You need to be intentional about this. We are so intentional about hustling and getting things done and working, and it's like we're martyrs for chasing the success, but we don't actively make time for relaxation. And the funny thing about this is the more that you relax, the more you will see success in your life, because that's the more that you get out of your own way and allow the universe in. So those are just a few of my tips on actively reducing anxiety, especially if you're a highly anxious person or highly sensitive person or an empath. I tend to be all three, so becoming a relaxation expert has changed my life. And remembering these things, you can always come back to this, and just remember that your well-being is really important, and you deserve to take care of yourself. You deserve to get good sleep and eat well and get sunshine on your face and not be on your screen all the time, not be responding to texts every 2 seconds and feeling like you need to, or else people will be mad at you. Creating boundaries for your happiness and your well-being is important, and it's going to positively affect the rest of your life. I hope that this video brought you back to yourself, calmed you down, and I know it calmed me down to speak in this. This is how hypnotherapists tend to speak, especially when first meeting their clients. This relaxes the nervous system, so I hope it helped. I love you. Thank you for spending some time with me. If you want more videos like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you liked the video, a thumbs up will be really helpful. A comment really helps. But what helps the most is sharing it with somebody who might need it. Thank you. I love you. Until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.